Welcome back YouTube, I have Ahmed again from In-Depth Tech Reviews, and today I have a very special phone, the Poco M3. And the reason I'm saying it's a special phone because of its price tag. You can get the 64GB model of the Poco M3 for only $129, and in some countries you might pay a little bit extra, up to $149. I have here the higher end model with 128GB, and this one will cost around $169. If you take a look at the box, the first thing you see beside the branding is the battery. It says here 6000 milliamp battery, which is a huge battery for a phone like this because phones with $1,000 price tag does not include a battery that big. And this is one of the key selling points of the Poco M3. So now let's take a closer look at the Poco M3. But before getting started, let's make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified every time I post a new video. So let's jump in. Now let's take a look at the box contents. First, you get a fast charger with 22.5 watts maximum output, and it takes USB Type-A connection. A USB-A to USB-C cable, a clear case and the SIM eject tool, a user guide and the warranty terms, and finally the phone itself. Now let's start with the design. On the back you get this big Poco branding that gives the phone a unique look. The Poco M3 is available in 3 different colors: Cool Blue, which is I have here, Poco Yellow, and Power Black. The back is made from plastic, but it has a prominent texture that makes it feel like leather when you hold it in hand, and it gives you a solid grip. On the front, it has a 6.53 inches LCD panel covered with Gorilla Glass 3. A teardrop notch for the front-facing camera, and the earpiece that also works as a secondary speaker. At the bottom, it has a USB Type-C port, a loudspeaker, and a microphone. On the top, it has an infrared blaster, so you can use your phone as a remote control, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and another microphone. On the right side, it has the fingerprint that also works as a power button and the volume rockers. On the left side, it has the SIM tray that can take 2 nano SIM cards and SD card. The dimensions of the Poco M3 are 162.3mm length, 77.3mm width, 9.6mm thick, and it weighs 198 grams. So it's a big phone and it's hard to reach all corners with one hand. But thankfully Xiaomi added a one-handed mode with 3 different sizes to choose from, which is very convenient. The phone feels solid in hand and it doesn't flex easily. So overall, when it comes to the design, the Poco M3 exceeded my expectations. Despite its insanely cheap price tag, you get a 6.53 inches display, stereo speakers, 3.5mm headphone jack, infrared blaster, dual SIM support, a 6000 milliamp battery, and a solid build. Now let's talk about the display. It has a full HD resolution, 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio, 400 nits brightness, 83.4% screen-to-body ratio, and 60Hz refresh rate. The display specs are good enough for the price, the colors are vibrant, and the blacks are deep, which is great. But there are 2 drawbacks. First, the viewing angles are not great. When I tilt the phone, the display becomes noticeably dimmer. Secondly, it's not bright enough in direct sunlight. So overall, the display quality is average, but it's not a showstopper by any means. Now let's talk about the sound quality. The Poco M3 has stereo speakers, which is not easy to find in budget phones, and surprisingly they are loud and the sound quality is really good. So let's take a listen.
You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, but you own this golden throne. But I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises.
And if you are wondering about the sound quality in phone calls, it also sounds great either on a speaker or using the earpiece. And here's a quick sample using the loudspeaker only, as I won't be able to demonstrate the earpiece sound quality.
مرحبا بك في دو. أميلنا العزيز، قد قمنا مؤخرا باستحداث نظام الرد الآلي المرئي الجديد، وهو تجربة فريدة وسهلة مع العديد من الخدمات الذاتية، بالإضافة إلى خيار التحدث إلى موظف خدمة العملاء.
Before jumping to the next category, let's give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, cdkoffers.com. From CDK Offers, you can purchase original Microsoft Windows 10 and Office keys in a very discounted price. Not only this, but you can also use my special promo code ID20 to get extra 20% discount. As you see, you can get yourself a Windows 10 OEM key for $16.18, which is insanely cheap. Please check the links in the description below. Now let's get back to the review. Now let's talk about the performance. The Poco M3 has a Snapdragon 662 and 4GB of RAM. So don't expect a great performance out of this phone. In my day-to-day usage, the phone takes more than usual to open apps. However, it's still usable, but you need to be a little bit patient with this phone. And when it comes to gaming, I tested few games. Asphalt 9 was the worst, the graphics was set to minimum, even though it was very laggy. PUBG was a lot better than Asphalt 9, but there was some lag every now and then. Call of Duty, Modern Combat 5 and Need for Speed No Limits worked well without any lag. And when it comes to RAM management, I managed to keep a maximum of 7 apps running in the background, which is not too bad. Overall, the Poco M3 performance is below average. It takes around 3 seconds extra to open some apps, but if you are okay with that, you will be able to do your normal tasks like checking emails, browse the social media, and chat with friends. And when it comes to gaming, not all games are playable, so it's a hit or miss. Next, the battery. And this is where the Poco M3 really shines. This phone can easily stay for 2 days without a single charge, thanks to the huge 6000 mAh battery. Not only this, but you can also use it to charge other phones via cable, which is very useful. And finally, let's talk about the camera. The Poco M3 has 3 lenses, a 48 megapixel main camera with f1.8, a 2 megapixel macro lens, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor for portrait shots. Both lenses have f2.4 aperture. So what about the photos and videos quality? Don't expect good camera performance using the native camera app of this phone, but I managed to install a very stable Gcam mod based on Gcam version 8.1, and it works on this phone flawlessly. And here are some camera samples using the native camera app and Gcam version 8.1 side by side, and as you see, it's a day and night difference. So let me show you a quick slideshow for all the samples I have. So now let's sum up everything. The Poco M3 sets a new standard in budget phones. Paying less than $150 to get a smartphone is mind-blowing. And what's more surprising, there are certain things that it does really well. It has an insane battery life, very good sound quality, modern design, and solid build. Yes, it has some drawbacks like the performance and the display, but it's absolutely fine to have some compromises considering the cheap price tag. In my opinion, the Poco M3 is for anyone low in budget, for someone that needs a secondary phone, or you can get it for your kids without worrying about breaking it. So that's pretty much it for today. That was my review for the Poco M3. Please let me know in the comments what do you think. So I hope you like my video, and if you do, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. Thank you for watching.